Welcome to the Dang Good Show. I'm your host, Christine Dang, or C Dang, from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 10. How are you guys doing? I know it's been a minute, and frankly, my full-time gig uses a lot of my brain juice. And by the end of the day, I am fried and exhausted. But regardless, it's been a crazy ride these past few years. I think what's tough is trying to find the right balance, knowing when you've done too much and knowing when to give yourself a break. I only say that because I tend to be super hard on myself, and I'll admit, run out of patience and end up burning myself out. I know I'm not the only one. I am also speaking the lives of many others who have shared the same experience. Now, if you do share this experience too, if so, why do you think we keep pushing ourselves so much harder? When is it enough? I would love to hear your story. Shoot me an email to info@c-dang.com. Now, suppose this is your first time tuning in. Oh my gosh, welcome to the show. I have to admit, I am in so much awe by the support of complete strangers online. And it's people like you that makes my heart sing and want to keep on doing this. So thank you for tuning in. So this episode, patience. Let's dive in and talk about the value of patience. Patience is honestly the new chill. Being patient not only improves our quality of life, it makes us less depressed, stressed, and anxious. Who wouldn't want to be more at peace with themselves and their surroundings? The dictionary defined patience as accepting or tolerating delays, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or irritated. Oh, excuse me. We all know what it means to be patient. Not losing our temper or wait without complaining. Even though we won't complain out loud, we are thinking so internally. I'm at a point in my life where I understand that patience is a powerful, silent action. It's challenging to master without constant practice, you guys. It's definitely something we need to work on every day. If you are impatient with others, it reflects how impatient you are with yourself. Let me repeat that. If you are impatient with others, it reflects how impatient you are with yourself. When I read that somewhere on Instagram, that stuck. And I mean, how you treat yourself or how you treat others is a reflection of how you treat yourself. And when someone is patient with you, it's one of the softest form of love. Don't confuse waiting as a form of patience. It gets a little deeper than that. Patience is the ability to wait. Waiting is a fact of life. Patience is the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. With people glued to their phones and addicted to social media, we are more accustomed to instant gratification. I would be lying if I told you I didn't fall into the trap of wanting instant success. We're all hopeful, but being hopeful and realistic is a balance that I find oh so hard, but at least I'm aware of it. Because when a person can master patience, they can master everything else. Now, out of all of this, we have to learn to trust the process and understand that things does take time. By being patient, you become more empathetic, kind, and peaceful. And with that, your mind becomes clearer, which helps you make better choices and decisions versus making impulsive decisions that you would regret and kick yourself in the butt for jumping the gun too soon. And what I've learned is that patience allows you to set your emotions aside, become more grounded and level-headed. The skill of patience is so crucial to forming strong personal relationships with your partner, family, friends, and anyone who you deem as important. It could even go as far as making a good impressions to strangers, clients, or potential employers. Expressing patience towards others shows how caring and supportive you are towards them. Again, someone being patient with you is one of the softest form of love. I don't know about you, but when I'm impatient, it can absolutely negatively affect my day. And if I'm with someone else, my mood could affect my relationship with that person and ruin their day, which isn't fair. So a rule of thumb is when you are impatient, you rob your own joy and the joy of others. Now, let's take rushing as an example. I hate being rushed. I don't like being late, especially when I am dashing out the door and ran around my place like a maniac to get all my shit together, not only to leave the most important item behind. It is the worst. Not only do I feel so amped up, I've stressed myself out for no good reason. I robbed my own joy, you guys, by being annoyed with myself. Now, I think rushing and being impatient is one of the same. Over the years, I've learned to give myself more time. Because really, what's a rush? Besides, constantly rushing doesn't change the outcome. It just makes me more anxious, disappointed, or stressed out. And while I was researching a few things for this episode, I came across this article, and I forgot if it was straight from Berkeley University, but anyways, they listed 4 benefits as to why practicing the value of patience is good for us. Now, well, for starters, number 1, you enjoy better mental health by being patient, of course. According to a 2007 study by 2 psychology professors, patient people tend to experience less depression and negative emotions, perhaps because they can cope better with upsetting or stressful situations. They also rate themselves as more mindful and feel more gratitude, more connection with humankind and the universe, and a greater sense of abundance. Number 2, patient people are better friends and neighbors. So, as I stated earlier, when you are patient, you become kinder and more empathetic. Think of a friend who comforted you when you had a rough day or breakup. Research suggests patient people are more cooperative, forgiving, and trusting. Number 3, patience helps us achieve our goals. The road to success is never a straight line. I definitely learned this the hard way from constant disappointment when my creative projects didn't go the way I wanted it to. If you can't create something great from rushing or doing it too quickly. Success is like a scribble where we must continually spend time and effort to grow and learn. And lastly, number 4, just like the mental health, patience is linked to good health. In a same study, people who exhibit impatience, a classic type A personality trait, tend to complain more about their health and sleep. So if having patience reduces our daily stress level, then it's safe to say that having patience also protects us against damaging health effects from stress. Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button right now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you so much for your support. On Instagram, follow me at Christine_Dang, where I share aha moments and a few laughs. And lastly, if you want to find out more information about the show, visit thedangoodshow.com. Let's get back to the show. Now, there are so many studies done that shows how stress could negatively affect not only our brains, but also our body, guys, making us sicker and weaker as stress continues over time. Now, if practicing patience was easy, then everyone would be doing it and the world would be a better place. Like saving money, it ain't easy. And if saving money was easy, then a whole lot of us wouldn't be in debt. You feel me? Everyone would be all about that compound interest. Strangely, life gets harder when you try to make it easier. For example, exercising might be hard, but never exercising will make life harder because when we don't continue to build muscles, we become weaker and brittle as we age and more prone to injury and disease. For another example, uncomfortable conversations are hard, but avoiding conflict will make life harder. Like mastering your craft is hard, but having no skill makes life harder. Easy has a cost. I truly believe if we put in the time and effort to make things work, then life is a bit less stressful and will be more fulfilling. I try my best to remind myself to be patient and trust the process. The phrase trust the process took me a while to truly understand its meaning. The last episode I dropped was at the end of 2021, and right now it's February 2023. I remember for my birthday during that time, I was on a plane to Toronto to visit my cousin when I wrote this episode. This episode that you are listening to right now. It was during a time I had to make tough decisions to stop my personal creative projects and use the energy to focus on building stronger muscles. The healing process and the lessons learned in the past year was a journey in itself. Now, just a quick backstory. I was in a car accident in 2018 and thankfully didn't walk away with a neck fracture, but with nerve damage nonetheless. With my full-time gig, working out, and my personal creative projects like this podcast, painting, or creating content, I couldn't focus on all three, or else I'll just wear myself out and be more prone to injury, which will take me longer to heal. And so I had to pick, what can I drop now and pick up later? I had to pause my creative projects and focus my energy on my full-time gig and getting my body stronger. And by trusting the process, I've learned to be more patient and not force myself to get better. I gave myself time to heal and build strength. And I honestly couldn't have done it without the help of my physiotherapist and my RMT. Now, so by understanding the value of patience, you will stand tall when times get tough and be unaffected by the crazy world and people surrounding us. Saying that out loud actually brought some peace within me. So anyways, so how do we become more patient? Well, I'll share 3 things that I have practiced over the years that has helped me and countless others to become more patient. Number 1, slow down and focus on your breath. Going the fastest route isn't necessarily the most optimal way to success. Slowing down means taking a step back from a situation to pause and reflect on what is the next best step to move forward. When we are feeling overwhelmed, I find taking 5 deep breaths is super helpful to bring down my anxiety and my heart rate. The biggest benefit for taking a few deep and slow breath is reducing my stress level and lowering my stress hormone cortisol. Number 2, practice mindfulness with meditation. So I started meditating in 2017 and it changed my life. If you follow me on Instagram, I would not shut up about it. It's honestly the best thing ever. And like many of us, I was an overthinker and I couldn't sit still for 5 minutes. Mindfulness is like, so say you are dealing with your problems. Picture a circle. When you are not mindful, you are in the circle of problems, the circle of difficulties. Your issues surrounds you and all you can see is your problems and you can't seem to find a way out. Now, with mindfulness, it's like you are looking at the circle of problems from the outside, which is a clearer picture if you really think about it. So instead of being in the problem and be stuck in it, being mindful lets me see the situation as it is from the outside, giving me space to breathe and think of solutions in a calm and creative manner. In one study, kids who did a 6-month mindfulness program in school became less impulsive and more willing to wait for a reward. That is amazing because so many adults can't even do that. Me included. It takes time to build that up. But anyways, number 3, be grateful. Be grateful by practicing gratitude with a journal. Try writing 3 things you were thankful for at the end of the day. Studies shows that by doing this daily, you start training your brain to look for the positives, which is awesome because really, when you look at news and anything around the world, we only share bad news with each other because it's worth gossiping, right? If we are thankful for what we have today, we are not so desperate for more stuff or better situations right away. By practicing these 3 things daily, taking deep breaths, practicing mindfulness and keeping a gratitude journal, we protect ourselves from frustrations, stress, depression, and anxiety. It also helps pave the way for a more satisfying and successful life. So have the patience to deal with the situation at hand and not rush it. If we rush, we also rush other people, making them panic and forget the little things that could have been helpful. You know, the extra benefits. Well, that is the end of this episode. Guys, patience is the new chill. Thank you for joining me on The Dang Good Show. Make sure you visit my website, thedangoodshow.com, where you can subscribe to the show on Apple, Google, or Spotify, or wherever it is, just so you'll never miss an episode. While you're at it, if you find valuable information on the show, I would greatly appreciate it if you can give me a thumbs up and a good ratings on iTunes or whichever platform you're listening from. But even if you simply tell a friend about the show, that would totally help me out too. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm C Dang signing out. I'll catch you next time.